So I want to make sure, and here, and these, and this is Senator Ron Wyden. I want you guys to get a close picture of Ron Wyden. Who Ron Wyden is? He's in Washington D.C. Barely represents the people from the state of Oregon. He's never here. He's in Washington D.C. But I ask you, how the hell is him and his wife profited millions? Well, when a basic salary for a senator is maybe $100,000, $150,000, how does this guy become a millionaire? Well, guess what? When he creates a legislative bill and he passes it, that aids and abets and the profit of his hedge fund, this is how they become rich. This is by defrauding your water, your minerals, and your land through these hedge funds that are created behind these mining industries. This is him. This criminal should be behind bars. He's not representing you Oregonians. And guess what? They went after Donald Trump, Harry Reid, Ron Wyden, George Soros. They're going after Donald Trump. Right here for Trump financial disclosure forms. But guess what? How about Ron Wyden coming over here and explaining his financial disclosure forms, his earmarks, his son's hedge fund, to all the companies that are participating in the theft of their minerals, your land, and your water. But it connected also with Anna J. Brown through the Lewis and Clark criminal activity. Right here. So what kind of justice is our patriots going to have? Why do you think Anna J. Brown does not want to step off the bench? Why is she conducting herself as a tyrannical judge? And guess what? She's violating the most basic fundamentals of our laws. And she doesn't want to accept the Constitution, right? Isn't that what she said? She doesn't want to hear the Constitution? She doesn't want to hear the Bill of Rights? She doesn't want to hear the Federalist Papers. She doesn't even want to hear the Declaration of Independence. Yet she took an oath to it.
Anti-government Federalist Papers. Oh.
Here you go. Through the ORS, the Oregon State Legislative, and the Lewis and Clark Show right here. And guess what Lewis and Clark Show, what we call it, basically specialized in the environmental and natural resource law. Right here, environmental and natural resource law. What does that mean? Your minerals, your water, and your land. Right here. All participated in it. I didn't create this. I beg everybody to go ahead and download it, and you'll see Anna Akins and Anna J. Brown participating in this. And guess what? They were all appointed by Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton's connected to the Clinton Foundation and Uranium One.
Let's move the table.
We're going to take a 2-minute break and move the table down.
2-minute break, people.
Keep on going. So let's let cameras move. People start.
So I think that they just removed them from underneath the public.
We're moving outside peacefully. We've been asked to move out to continue our speech. It has quit raining for a moment. So everybody just hold for a minute. We'll keep talking a little bit. We're just about done here. We're just trying to do a peaceful speech down here, bringing out some of the corruption that's going on across our nation.
This is.
I do.
They're still in our future.
Oh,
They're still in our children's future. They're still in our grandchildren's future.
I better go do that.
Gotta move them all.
Okay. No, we gotta go do it. I'll go get here.
Roger.
They're telling us we got to move some vehicles that are parked in a city parking area, that we're going to get some citations. There's an officer that's behind us that I don't have him on video at the moment, but they are being nice to us and peaceful. But we'll continue our speech here in just a moment. Tomorrow in court, you don't want to miss court tomorrow. You don't want to miss up the updates that we're going to have tomorrow also. Some very important stuff coming to light.
So as I continue on, this is the state sovereign. This was done by Jefferson Powell and Benjamin J. Prester. And this is a Supreme Court decisions. These are not mine. I did not fabricate. I did not create and I did not alter any of these documents. Okay? This document right here, I'm going to read 2 pages on it, and you're going to see the separation of powers and also a Supreme Court law with regards to the state and federal lands. Matter of fact, I'll even give Shauna Cox the honor of reading this.
States have power over the land, navigable waters, real property, wild animals, and persons within their territory. This kind of sovereignty is also what is transferred from Congress to the new state government when a United States territory is admitted into the Union. Under the language used by the court in Arizona versus California, a justiciable controversy is presented only if Arizona, as a sovereign state.
Right, and this Supreme Court ruling is going to be called Arizona versus California 298 U.S. 558. Basically states that the states have control of all lands. What the hell is the federal government arresting our patriots? This is a state issue and not a federal issue. And the only reason why Anna J. Brown would not recognize this is because she has her money in these hedge funds where they're stealing our minerals in our land, in our water, using through federal grants and federal policies. This is why Anna J. Brown refuses to recuse herself or remove her or disqualify herself. She has a financial gain through the Oregon Legislative Investment Council. And yet she's violating one of the Supreme Court rulings. In addition to that, there's actually separation of powers, and she calls herself a judge, and she calls herself an honorable judge. What the hell's honorable about her? There's nothing honorable about this criminal. She's a criminal in a robe, and she also should be participating in being indicted under Article 3 for treason, because she's also aiding and abetting Uranium One to go ahead with the Clinton Foundation, the same Clintons family that appointed her as a judge with Anna Akins, and ruling in favors so the Chinese can have our uranium and gold and silver and copper with the Russians, Iran, and ISIS. Is it a conspiracy? Yes, it is a conspiracy, because it takes two or more individuals to conspire for a crime. And they're conspiring, committing, perpetuating fraud upon the American people, in our military, in our patriots. This is what they're doing. Now we're going to go ahead, separation of powers. The federal government is a substantive way in expressing the state-federal separation of powers that the court views as a safeguard for liberty. So what the hell are we doing having our patriots incarcerated and the authority of the federal government when the federal government has zero jurisdiction? Zero. These are Supreme Court cases. What the hell's going on? And I tell you what's going on. She's part of this. She's part of the Lewis and Clark show right here. The same characters are behind all these bills. And she's ruling in favor of all the land grabbing. 80-90% of the bills she's a part of. So should there be a grand jury investigation against Anna J. Brown and Anna Akins and Stacey Beckerman? Yes. Oregonians, this is all the evidence. It's time for you to rise. It's time for the people to rise. It's time to replace these criminals with good, replace these dirty politicians.
It's a Republican form of government.
Yeah, back to our republic under Article 4, Section 4, and the Federalist Papers 49. It says we are a republic.
We've got to vote in the good people. Now, our election's coming up, and we've got to get the right people
We
involved.
need everybody here tomorrow.
Yeah, Mark Callen, you're more than welcome. We hope that the Oregonians listen to the evidence and elect you, because this criminal right here has his money all over this cookie jar. Would you, sir, go ahead and arm Russia with uranium? Would you give China or ISIS uranium?
No, I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't. And why is this criminal Ron Wyden doing it?
Because he's lost touch with the people. He's been in there for about 35 years, and he needs to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Jeff Merkley needs to be next. Greg Walden, Ron Wyden, Ted Ferrioli. These
All
criminals
are
need to be
appointed.
gone.
You have to put people's appointed.
And they're all appointed. David Ward's appointed. Stephen E. Grassi's appointed. Kate Brown's appointed. Oh, Anna Akins appointed. Well, we got Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, through the environmentalists, because guess what? Back when Bill Clinton was the president, He was part of this environmentalist with Russia. I advise
and declaring all of these monuments and things across the nation, because that's all it is to lock up the resources.
To lock
they've
up-
done it time and again over the years, and they keep doing it, and we're just
and look into
Exposing.
Bunkerville. This also applies to Bunkerville. This also applies to the Hague family. This also applies to another case in Montana with Mr. Robinson. All criminals that are all part of, guess what, the Clinton Foundation. They're all part of the Clinton Foundation. None of these are immune. They're all connected. And it is a conspiracy. Because through the Clinton Foundation, they're stealing our natural resources. Your natural resources. Your children's natural resources and your grandchildren's resources. So I want every American to come out tomorrow in front of this courthouse and join us to face Anna J. Brown and her conspiracy to defraud you. Because it's what it is, a big conspiracy. Any words?
no, but thank you.
And thank you, America, for your time. I appreciate it. I apologize, but this is passionate, and this means a lot to me. This means a lot for everybody, for everybody's family, for our military, especially our military that's overseas fighting.
Absolutely.
We want the
So,
truth.
God bless our republic.
Thank you.
Did you want to say anything more?
For the truth. Yeah, come on right there.
We need to get rid of Ron Wyden, and we got about 3 weeks to do that.
Okay.
I'm doing what I can in terms of going all around the state to basically remove him from office. He's been in there long enough. Doesn't even live in Oregon anymore, and we need to get rid of him electorally, of course. But we need to get rid of him in terms of removing him from office, sending him back to New York permanently, and so we can actually have our constitutional republic back. We can actually have someone that believes in the Constitution. I carry a Constitution with me everywhere I go, all around the state. I've been traveling all around the state, Southern Oregon, Eastern Oregon, and I've been talking to a lot of great folks, both Democrats, Republicans, Bernie supporters, to far-right Tea Party members. And we're all Oregonians here, the way I see it, and we're all Americans here. We want our country back, and the corruption and the cronyism that is currently happening in Washington, D.C. has got to stop, because they're just not connected with us anymore.
You know, Oregon's a one government state right now, right?
A one-party state, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're calling it a one government.
state,
Yeah. And do you see hope that changes back to the way it should be?
I believe so. I mean, there are conservatives and there are
Yeah, all
Republicans
this.
in Oregon, but the one-party
all,
government,
with the
one-party
exception of-
state right now will have you believe that basically everyone in Oregon believes the same way they do, which
Right.
is not the truth. You get anywhere east of the Cascades and anywhere, say, south of I don't know, Cottage Grove or something like that, or just south of Eugene, it's all conservative and it's all Republican. And I mean, there's Republicans in the I-5 corridor on the coast as well, and then also in the I-5 corridor. Clackamas County is a great example of a large population of conservatives, a large population of Republicans. I'm not running to represent just the Republicans, though.
Yes.
I'm running to represent all Oregonians. I've been going to events with the other side. I've been going to the Tenants United. I went to the. I'm planning on going to other events here in the upcoming weeks of the election, and I'm talking to both sides of the aisle, and they're all fed up. Whether you're on the left or you're on the right, they're all fed up, and it's because our politicians are not responsive to the people they're supposed to be representing. I personally don't consider myself a politician. I'm not your typical politician. I'm not your typical Republican either.
Right.
But I am a Republican, and I hope people don't hold that against me just because I have an R behind my name on the ballot. I'm out to represent all Oregonians. I want to implement a flat tax to replace the current bloated 74,000-page tax code that Ron Wyden himself, being that he's on the Finance Committee, actually helped create. It's so full of cronyism and carve-outs that it's sick. It's obviously it's very sick that they would have these special deals, cronyism, carve-outs in our own tax code. I want to replace the whole thing, throw the whole thing out, replace the whole thing with a simple flat tax to be able to do taxes on a postcard. I also stand for things like a balanced budget amendment. I figure if Americans can have to balance their own checkbook. The federal government should have to do the same thing, which obviously they're not doing right now because we have $19 trillion in debt. I mean, what kind of stuff is that? You know? And then I also want to enforce immigration laws because our immigration laws across the country aren't being enforced. We need jobs here in Oregon. We need a stronger economy in Oregon. It's not going to happen when they're locking up our land and selling it off to the Russians and Uranium One and Energy LLC to mine uranium. I'm against the mining uranium. I strongly support the Hands. I strongly support the Bundys because what they were doing is standing up for their constitutional rights.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate it, Mark. That was Mark Callahan.
We're down here in front of City Hall, downtown Portland, Oregon.
Oh, I love you so much. Thank you.
We had a small crowd out here today bringing out some important stuff. We were confronted by the law enforcement security down here asking us not to stay underneath the pavilion part more than a half hour or they would have the police remove us. But we stepped out there shortly. By the time a half hour, I guess, came, I'm not for sure. They may gave us longer. I didn't see the time. But I think we got some good information out here. Laz is a whistleblower. We've got other people that have been helping him and others that have been trying to bring this information to light besides him also. I thank everyone who has been working diligently on this and getting all this information together. Tomorrow at court, there's some big things going to happen. I encourage anyone and everybody that can get down here for court in Portland, Oregon at the federal courthouse to get down here tomorrow. There's some really good stuff going to happen. I'll have an update tomorrow about 12 o'clock or shortly after. As soon as the judge lets us out, I'll get out and get a live stream going and update everybody for what's going on. Some very interesting stuff, again, like I said, going to happen tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. So thanks everybody for joining. I'll sign off for now and I'll see you tomorrow about noon. Have a good day, everybody.